So one of my favorite YouTube shows is Lost in Adaptation. I'm not sure I have to explain what Lost in Adaptation is, but it's a series by Dominic Noble where he compares books to films. It's one of the most popular series in the subgenre of videos, which there are quite a few people who do it. It's fascinating, but I definitely think Dominic has it down to like a science. I also just enjoy his humor. So, um, I've been reading the Kathy Reichs Bones novels, which is what the show Bones is based on. I've watched Bones since I was a kid. My mom's into crime dramas, and I unironically love Bones now that I've gotten older. It freaked me out when I was a kid because, oh, the special effects department deserves a reward on this damn show because it is so gross. I can see why little me did not like that. I was a very squeamish kid. Like, I wanted to go into veterinary medicine as a kid, and I reached teenagerhood and realized, oh shit, I cannot handle blood. Fun. But, I've been reading the novels, and I've been reading them out of order, and my library finally had Deja Dead, which is the first one available, the first book, but I've been reading them out of order. I started with Devil Bones, which is like the 11th or 12th one, because I randomly got it out of a thrift store. And I've been wanting to read them, sorta. Like, I've read a couple mystery novels, not all of them are for me. I find out, like, mystery novels more when the main narrator is not a cop or an investigator. Like, my other favorite, mystery novel series is, the main character trains cadaver dogs, and the first book, I think, is called either Finders, Seekers. There are two books in the series are called Finders and Seeker. I'm not sure which one is the first one, but I think it's by Jeff something. I don't actually own any copies of the book, so fun, but the books are different from the series drastically. Pretty much the only allegories I can see are the name Temperance Brennan, and she's a forensic anthropologist. She has a love interest who is a law enforcement officer, although he's not an FBI agent. He's actually a homicide investigator from Montreal, and both characters have a daughter, although Tempe's daughter is an adult, and Christine is a little child through most of the TV series. But, I think these are needed changes because most of the appeal of these books come from Tempe's inner monologue, and you lose that in a series because you don't have, unless you go and have it narrated all the way through, which no one's going to watch that. You have to have changes because most of my draw to these is Tempe's humor. Like how she describes things. And I'm going to read a little bit just to show you what I mean. You'll have to move on, madame. You may not park here. As he spoke, he gestured with his hand, shooting me in the direction in which I was to depart. I could picture him chasing flies from potato salad with the same movement. I'm Dr. Brennan, I said, slamming the Mazda door. Laboratoire de Médecine Légale. And my French is not good. But I know just enough to understand these novels. You're the one from the coroner? His tone would have made a KGB investigator sound trusting. Yes, I'm the anthropologics juristi? Slowly, like a second-grade teacher. I do the disinterments, the skeletal cases. I understand this may qualify for both. I handed him my ID. A small brass rectangle above his shirt pocket identified him as Constant Grulot. Const Grulot. I'm now realizing I read that as Constable when it's a, abbreviated version. I love how my brain works. He looked at the photo, then at me. My appearance was not convincing. I planned to work on skull reconstruction all day, and was dressed for glue. I was wearing faded brown jeans, a denim shirt, sleeves rolled up to the elbows, topsiders, no socks. Most of my hair was bound in a barrette. The rest, having fought gravity and lost, spiraled limply around my face and down my neck. I was speckled with patches of dried Elmer's. I must have looked like a middle-aged mother forced to abandon a wallpaper project than a forensic anthropologist. That's just a little bit. I just love Tempe's inner monologue, and I don't think this version of Temperance would have transferred to screen well without the inner monologue, because sure, that humor comes out in her spoken dialect too, but I don't think that it would have held up as good as the TV show did, which the TV show, a lot of the draw of that is the supporting cast, like Hodgins, Angela, Booth. Cam is sort of how they decide to characterize her in any given episode, which sometimes she can be cool, sometimes she's a raging bitch. Not sorry. Like Sweets. Bones, the TV show, really relies on its supporting cast. Not to say that show Temperance doesn't have her relevance, but I think a lot of what keeps people coming back is how she interacts with the others at the Jeffersonian and all their stories. I rarely hear people talking about Bones as a character and more of her relationship with Booth. I rarely ever see people talk about just Bones as the character. It's always in relationship with Booth or Sweets or Angela or anyone else. And that's a little bit frustrating, because I'm iffy about Bones' character, but she definitely deserves to be talked about in her own, because she is an interesting character in that she's interesting. It's truly a morning for my brain to be more analytical than that. I'm sorry.